Yo, 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 what's going on? Welcome to the stream. We are back.
We are. I can't even tell we're live. I have no idea what's going on.
We are live. New stream, new graphics. So bear with us. We're making it work, making it look all nice and pretty.
Yeah.
But welcome back to the Adoption Pod, where the name of the game is mass adoption, because that's what we're all here for. So today we got a jam-packed show for you today. We got Bryan, the pop digital artist, which is pretty cool. We saw this art at Super Rare, I believe it was, and in NYC. And we got Francis from CodeNekt. Pretty cool stuff they got going on the blockchain. I'm a licensed mechanic, so like anything to do with cars is where I'm at. So that's perfect. So what's going on, Mikkel? How has your week been? Episode 2.
I don't remember what I've been doing for the last week and a half, to tell you the truth. Pretty much since we got back from New York. I mean, it's just been busy, right? Like the markets are busy, clients are ramping up, markets are like, this feels just, I remember being on Robinhood at the beginning of the 21 crypto pump and just being on my phone, like flip, like, you kind of start predicting the like I didn't know anything about crypto yet, but I'm just like, yeah, I can kind of tell when volume's fading out and when volume's picking up. So I'm just like flipping back and forth and going crazy. And it feels like we're getting that like kind of like bigger chop, like the chops getting bigger, especially on ETH. So I'm excited to talk about some of those charts later on tonight. But honestly, it feels good, man, because it was a long bear market and like it's been so like touch and go for the last probably couple months here. We feel on the verge and then we're like, is it over? No, wait, we're back. Is it over? Probably 5 times a day.
It's kind of crazy. It almost feels like I've always felt like this bull run, there's 2 bull runs going on. If you're a Bitcoin person and it's like, they're like, how's the bull run going? Great bull run. It's just like normal. And then you ask altcoin holders and it's like, I'm just waiting for it to start still. So it's so interesting to see the parity, because I've been in here since 2018. I got into crypto, and usually you've had all-time highs for a lot of altcoins, or a lot of the big altcoins, but like barely nothing has hit all-time highs. I don't even know if Ethereum has hit an all-time high in this bull run so far.
No.
So we are like kind of lagging.
100 below ETH all-time highs. It still has some room.
Exactly. So altcoin holders, it might be like something like 2017, where it's fast and furious the last couple weeks of this bull run. So hold on to your horses.
That's my favorite.
Horses?
Holding on.
Hold on for dear life.
Holding on and not knowing when to sell. Just round tripping. We'll just call it round tripping.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I'm sure. I feel like, you know what? If you're going to be in crypto, that's like just the journey. Everyone has to round trip something at one point to call themselves like a crypto professional or whatever, or a seasoned veteran. But
I've mostly ground everything, but that's fine. That's more for another day.
absolutely. So let's bring on Francis and let's talk about what he's got building
Ah,
and what we got going on. Welcome, Francis, to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me here. Thanks for the invite. So yes, to present myself very quickly. So I'm an entrepreneur. I've been entrepreneur for many years in the IT ecosystem, and then I joined the crypto ecosystem personally in 2016. And then yeah, I had to think about my company, my experience, my new experience in the business, and I had the idea to bring tokenization to cars, to vehicles, because probably in the US, but here in Europe and globally, when you buy a car, a used car, you don't know what you buy, because it can be a scam, the mileage can be modified. It's really a mess. So thinking about this, I thought that maybe blockchain can solve many problems if you collect the data from different stakeholders. You can store this information on the blockchain, the maintenance, documents, etc. And yeah, you can secure the information, and you can avoid any modification of this information. So that's why what we are bringing with CodeNekt in the ecosystem.
Cool. So tell me about the kind of things that you're putting on. Is it just service history? Is it everything, like the whole car, like all the statistics of the vehicle, the mileage, all that kind of stuff, any repairs that were done to it? Is it specific to each car that you're putting on the blockchain?
Yes, yes. We transform your car in a digital twin. So it's an NFT in which we store the maintenance, the track records, the information of the vehicle, the technical information as well. So everything related to the car will be stored in this NFT, and the NFT will follow the owner, the car, sorry, from one owner to another. So when you sell the car, you can transfer the NFT to the new owner, and he then can store the information, not himself by himself, but through the different actors, as the repairer, the expert, etc., can directly store the information in the NFT.
That's actually really amazing. So like I've been in the automotive industry for about 20 years now. I've been a licensed mechanic, and I've worked with a lot of used car sales places to be able
Mm.
to sell cars. So I would do the safeties for them and get them roadworthy to for them to sell. And there's a lot of bad actors in the used car sales because they want to make as much money as possible. So they cut corners, and like there was cars that were probably shouldn't be on the road. They're trying to put on the road, and kind of cheating the system. So putting this on the blockchain where everybody can have it, and the customer or the consumer is not going to have a lemon. They're not going to know what they're buying because of a bad actor, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of them. So having that on the blockchain, taking that away from bad actors and letting people actually be able to see what's going on with the car, the full service history, and also like it gets lost when you're buying an old car. Sometimes the owner doesn't have it; they just don't remember.
Yeah.
It's like that you're buying an old 20-year-old car. You don't have the history from the day it was, you got the car, but having it on the blockchain on that immutable ledger is really, really important. I see the value there for sure.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, and you usually have old cars, to collect, that have a great value. So the more documents you have, the better it is, So and even a new car, or a 3 year old or 3 years old car. So when you want to sell the car, usually you look after your documents, etc. So you cannot provide everything. So even for its value, it's really a good thing, because you can prove anything that has been done on this vehicle, and you create confidence with your buyer. So you can be an individual, or even a professional. Yeah, we create confidence between buyer and seller.
So it's CodeNekt ecosystem. So are people
Yeah.
building different apps on CodeNekt for like the VIN or bodywork or you know what I mean? All the different things. There's just so many things, information with cars. You're gonna need like, is it gonna be different platforms?
Yeah, in the future, yes. At the beginning, because we are starting with our own products, and we are having many partners. But yeah, in the near future, we would like to bring all the actors to build on our blockchain, because we want it to be global, and interoperable. So every actor can definitely develop its own app on our blockchain. We want to create a standard, that doesn't exist yet.
Absolutely. So I look at something like VChain and its V Better
Yeah.
DAO. They have people incentivized people to use reusable bottles, use reusable bags. I have a Tesla, so I get rewards for charging my Tesla. So it's all different individual people building on the V Better DAO on these apps. So I can see in my head, my gears are turning already, literally. I'm thinking of all the things that can be built on here and how the ecosystem can evolve. It's actually really interesting. Even for like collectible cars, you having a
Yeah.
collectible car, and even being able to verify the car was repaired by authentic parts would be a really handy for people.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. We create a kind of certificate of the car, so you can verify everything. You can be a professional, an owner or a partner. You can verify everything that has been done. So yeah, this certificate can bring a lot of value and traceability and transparency. So yeah, for new cars, old cars, collectibles, each car has this need. So yeah, it's very useful for all the actors of the ecosystem.
So tell me, what kind of plans do you have for the future? Do you guys tell me about the community? Like, what is the day in the life of a Connect community member?
Well, we are bringing more people to our community. So we are a French startup. We started in France because I have my whole network here, and we are starting to go abroad, and bring people from different countries to our community. Of course, we would like to have our members, our future holders, to be our ambassadors abroad. Because the car it goes from one country to another, it's built in, I don't know, in Germany, it's sold in Italy, and then it can go to Africa or even the United States. So and usually when the car crosses the border, there can be some modification, so so to sell it, yeah, with a higher price, etc. So it's obvious that we need to have this community worldwide, and to act globally, and to help us to expand the service worldwide.
Dude, I love it. I actually really like the idea of what you're building. As soon as I saw that there's those cars and I started to dive in a little bit more, I'm like, this makes perfect sense to me because, like, again, being in the automotive industry for over 20 years, you start to see the failures of the automotive industry and just being a mechanic, I talk one on one with customers, so you kind of get an idea of what customers want or bad things that happen buying a car that maybe they thought it was good and it was it was just not repaired properly, or a lot of people put band-aids on things to make it look good for selling, but really under the hood it's not so great. So
Yeah.
I think this is extremely important. I think the automotive industry very much needs this. So I really love what you're building. I really thank you for coming on the show and telling about what you guys are building, because this is what it is. It's all about mass adoption. And for me, I like to say different strokes for different folks. Mass adoption means making applications and things for everybody, every aspect of the world, because we're trying to upgrade our current systems in the world to the blockchain. So thank you so much for taking the time to come and chat with us about this.
Thank you both. Thank you for the invite. See you.
All right,
Thanks a
See
lot.
you very soon.
take care. All righty. I don't know how we switch over. There we go. All right,
You got it?
we
There
got
we go.
it.
We're smart. The screen looks all messed up. You're kind of in the middle too.
Yeah, it's
Mike
because
swore to me up and down that he had fixed all of this before the show. And here we are, live on air.
I did fix it, but the problem with Google Meets is every time someone comes in, it changes the size of the tiles automatically. So I'm like, oh, I got to readjust it on the fly.
Log into my computer, something's different. Like there's updates and things changing and keys changing. It is hard to do technology these days.
Technology is rough, guys. Like, why are we in tech, like, for real?
Yeah. Well, we're waiting for it to be abstract. I'm a marketer, so you guys do your figure it all out. I think that's cool about CodeNekt though, because I was thinking while he was talking a little bit, like I saw a tweet earlier today that said, making fun of the CIA, and they're like, what about the decentralized intelligence agency? And it's like, yeah, what about like comparing these repairs, comparing parts, like putting data on chain that talks about, here's the 3 symptoms a customer brought a car in with, and this is what we diagnosed, and then running that in algorithms to more correctly like diagnose I swear to God, every time I've taken a car to get fixed, like for some one thing, I pick it up and then a week later something else breaks, and then a week later something else breaks.
Yep.
So like they're missing some, like just there could be shops are little silos. All the only knowledge they have, they're not furthering their education all the time. They're fixing things according to the way their bosses told them to fix it, and they've always fixed it, right? They're not attending the latest training seminars for whatever. So I just think, there's so much like waste in this economy that is going to be solved by putting this data on chain and connecting it to artificial intelligence.
Absolutely. And it just streamlines these things so much better. Like if you take your car to another, like I'll tell you as a mechanic, when I work on a car, usually because I work at one company and we all work on the same cars, I can look up the service history and see what someone sells. It actually saves me a lot of time looking at what was worked on before. Say it came in for overheating, but I know some guy, the next guy before me, worked on the thermostat or something like that. Okay, the thermostat changed. It's unlikely that that's going to be the problem, so it could be something else. Saves me time. I can look at something else and start for somewhere else. So it actually, having a full service history as a mechanic is so important because it really saves a lot of time, and which will also save the customer money because now the customer is not paying all that diagnostic time.
Yep. Yeah. And I think same things too with like medical records. You think about stuff like that, like doctors having access to patients' full medical dossiers so that they can make better decisions. It's just, I don't remember. They'll ask me like, have you had this shot or have you done this? I'm like,
I've always been an advocate. Like this is my mental thing that I think of. Like I think of a scenario. My brain works in pictures. So I literally think, imagine you go away on vacation, get injured, right? And you go, maybe they don't speak your language, and you go to the hospital, but you can have a QR code that they scan with all your medical history so they know what you're allergic to. They see, everything that maybe that makes you high risk, or maybe you're high risk, or you're, you know what I mean? Like that I think is so huge, because imagine how many people don't get the right treatment they need right away because they have to wait for the hospitals to contact each other and this and that.
Well, we know someone that got shot with something that gave them an allergic reaction and almost killed them at a crypto conference. Like that's crazy. Like how have we not solved that problem yet? And like peanut allergies, for my nephew has a peanut allergy. I'm going to mute this microphone and go turn that noise off. So be right back.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, even definitely like what I think about is when you're talking about peanut allergies, it's crazy because you can have something that tracks what has touched peanuts. Because you can go to somewhere that says they're peanut free, but you never know cross contamination and whatnot. Actually, I have a friend at work that his son is allergic to peanuts, and you really, as a parent, you definitely want to know what the heck is touched peanuts. For your kids' sakes, because you never know. Like again, some people, maybe they're lazy, they don't wash their hands or whatever. Like everybody's half-assed someday at work, right? And it's that one time. Most likely, it's never going to happen, but it's that one time that it does, right? I don't know if you're talking. I can't hear you, Mike.
Well, that's because I turned it off. Welcome back, Bryan.
Hello.
Hey,
nice to see you again.
We'll just
I
pull
was
you up
watching
real
the
quick.
stream, but I was it was about peanut allergies, so I don't know what I missed since that point.
It's just a whole bunch of really important talk. We had a guest on that is putting
The cars.
automobile.
I was watching. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool stuff. And just, there's just so many use cases for having this information more available. And it's like we could have probably solved those problems before, but it was, now we're just building infrastructure that's going to make that so much easier and like give us those ideas. Like, oh, hey, if we just put all this on chain and like connect it to AI, like it's going to do a lot of it for us. We won't, maybe many of us have jobs left, but whatever.
It's going to get, yeah. I mean, it's weird how far car ownership has gotten to like the point where you can just like Carvana and have one driven to your house.
Yeah.
Like that seems pretty futuristic compared to like what
There's like vending machines in like Dubai, like supercar
Yeah.
vending machines. Like
it's very cool.
Dubai's like another world. I feel like it's not even on this planet. It's crazy.
Yeah. I imagine
I just can't wait to get driven around like all the time.
Well, I think that's like, I was thinking about like, we talk about autonomous cars, but no one's really talking about autonomous RVs. I mean, technically you could just rent a hotel room essentially and have it drive you across the country.
Oh my God.
That's probably only like 5 years away,
That's the
It's
next
gonna be awesome.
Cybertruck. That's going to be the next Cybertruck. Basically, just put a camper on the Cybertruck and away you go.
Yeah.
How many like traveling podcasters are just going to be like driving down the road talking about like, oh, look at that,
You know what? You
And
just
that is-
Oh, that's interesting.
we
Live-
just
Yeah.
we just put
streams.
it out there. We are talking about
I
UBI
want to give
last
you a
time.
proper intro too, and I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about yourself before we just go, because we're totally off the rails. I have
Oh, that's fine.
ADD. This is a kind of a shit show, if you will. But we do try to get some good information out there and talk to some cool people that are doing really cool things in the space. And I did have the honor of meeting Bryan at the Super Rare event up in NYC. He had some art on display there. It was incredible. I was sitting there admiring it, and somebody pointed out, and they're like, "That's the artist." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to go talk to him." And went up and shot my shot for the interview, and he delightfully and immediately agreed to come on. So I think that's really cool. I have a soft spot for fine art in the space. One of my first paid gigs was working on the particleized Banksy for Particle when they bought the flamethrower Banksy
I
and broke it
remember
up.
that. Yeah. It was like the
Yeah.
monkeys, right? On it.
It was
Right.
the flower thrower, or flamethrower,
Yeah.
but it was flowers.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And then I think the other one might have been Masterworks or something. There was another company that was
okay.
doing it.
Yeah.
And I think we
Was it-
kind of fizzled out, but like I was a big Beeple supporter from the beginning. I think that, I'm in a low effort punk community, and there's a conspiracy that it's him, and lots of fun stuff. So like I
Yeah.
came kind of from more the art side of things and progressed to where I am today. But I have a soft spot for artists in the space, and I would just love to hear your story of what you were doing before, how and then how you wound up here and what it's been like.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, first off, and it was great to meet you in New York. I can give like a quick elevator pitch on my background. I started digital art when I was in high school, making stuff for like newgrounds.com, putting animations on the internet. So I'm an old man now. I went to college for animation at the University of the Arts in Philadelphia. I, worked 15 years in the industry prior to NFTs, working in fashion advertising, toy commercials, music videos. I was doing art on the side during that time. For a long chunk of it, I worked in comedy. I worked at The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Saturday Night Live for about 8 years. And during those times while I was there, I got into NFTs and I was doing it on the side. I got into it because an artist that I collected physically named Killer Acid was selling stuff on Super Rare, and I got immediately I was like, oh, you can sell animations. This is a whole new world for me as an animator, that I can make animations and people can collect it. It was never something that was like possible before NFTs. And so I got really excited about it. That was right at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I joined Super Rare at that point and started this journey. And then, about a year into it, I found enough success from drops on Nifty Gateway and art blocks and async to the point where it became kind of a full-time gig. And I've been kind of a full-time artist in this space for 4 years now.
Yeah. What was that moment like for you when because I remember, I don't know how old you are. I'm 42. I'm pretty open about it. I mean, I just remember growing up thinking like you had to follow one of these chosen career, you could go into this or
Yeah.
this, and I'm like a rebel. So I'm getting an MFA in creative writing. Like, F you guys, it's going to be worth something someday. And in retrospect, I'm on a pretty good character arc on Twitter, and I largely do owe that to creative writing. So like, who's laughing now? Everybody who told me that was a stupid degree. But like these kind of things never felt possible. It was like for me, like I've always been delusional, right? Like I'm gonna write the next great or the great American novel because there isn't really one. I'm a James Joyce buff, and I'm gonna forge from the smithy of my soul a new identity for the American people, or what, like I'm a dreamer, so I'm gonna do that and teach college. And then, life happens and things get in the way. And then I found this world, right? And it's like, God, it's just this creative space where there's like liquidity that can support art. It kind of feels like patrons back in, ancient time, like, artists just having patrons and support it. Like we're kind of back to that. It's kind of like an art renaissance a little bit to me, in more traditionally like physical art, but also to me, on the writing side. So what was that like for you to realize like, wow, I don't have to just go work for a corporation for the rest of my life and, maybe lateral up a few times and make it to a certain position. Like you're doing your own thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was definitely, I mean, there's a lot of points. Well, first of all, I'm 40, so I'm not too far off. I'm about the same. And I think
Child.
There's a lot of points in an artist's career where you go, have I peaked? Is my best behind me? And you have those moments, whether working at those jobs. To me, that was, in my opinion, the best I could achieve as an animator, a motion graphics artist, visual effects artist, because I was making stuff that was on TV every night, and it was the coolest in the world.
That's cool. Yeah.
As an artist, I would go into work at 30 Rock, and before I would go in the morning, I would go across the street to Christie's and look at like the art that was on auction. Then, a year and a half into my journey in NFTs, my art was in Christie's across from where I used to work. And like that, that moment, it hit me like, oh my God, like I could never have imagined this career path coming out of nowhere and becoming something that, allowed me to do the thing every artist dreams of, which is having full creative control over your path, not having to execute other people's ideas. And so, yeah, no, I'm forever kind of in awe and grateful. And every single year, something new happens that I'm like, I can't believe I have my work in this huge place in London. I can't believe my work's at Sotheby's. I can't, So I never take it for granted. And I can't imagine. I mean, I imagine if this never happened, I would still be working those jobs and be very content. But this is a whole new path that's much more creatively fulfilling, and much more challenging. I mean, having a 9-to-5 job where you're making a TV show is kind of it's very easy compared to this job where it's kind of a 24 hours being on call with hundreds of collectors and constantly worrying about trying to top yourself. And like, it's a much more, but it's much more rewarding and fulfilling. And I wouldn't trade it. But yeah, no, it's definitely wild. But at the same time, it's very much where I was 20 years ago, sitting in the basement of my parents' house in high school, making Flash cartoons, putting them on the internet, and seeing what people comment about them. Just now there's actually money and career involved, but it's very much like it's like I've reverted back to this like version of myself that was creatively excited back then.
That's amazing. And I think like part of my journey as an adult has been like finding that sense of childlike wonder again, that the world just tries to squash out of you with their systems and their everything, it's like, whatever. And I feel, like I have cosmic euphoria a lot, just these feelings of just, like they were hiding so much from us. And I think, say good or bad things about social media, but a lot of this is all possible because social media platforms gave people the ability to build their own audiences. And before, platforms were owned just by news organizations or people with huge amounts of money and resources to build and control and gatekeep, and we have some of that here in the space too. Obviously, it's not perfect, but where do you fall on the social media spectrum? Is it a net good for humanity because of the opportunities it's providing, or are we all walking around like this or whatever at Thanksgiving dinner and not listening to our friends and family anymore?
I think at its core, it's a net good. I think where it gets lost is when the algorithms kind of distort what is real human connection from false whatever. And so I think, my art career has, from those Newgrounds to LiveJournal to MySpace to Facebook
God,
to
MySpace.
Tumblr to all these different apps. As a creative digital artist, you're just putting this art on all of these social networks, hoping someone sees it, connects with it, likes it, shares it, whatever.
Yeah.
The blockchain is a deeper social network than Twitter because people are not just connected with me, they're invested in my future, and they're a part of my journey in a way that you don't get through Twitter, you don't get through Facebook as much. That's a passive observation social media, where this now is my community of collectors are a part of my life in a way that was never possible before.
So you were talking about the algorithm. I was wondering, do you feel like the algorithm like basically makes people more tribal because like you like one thing? I feel like lately, like you like one thing and it just pukes out the same thing over and over and over. Like great, like one thing you like, and like I know, like I like
YouTube's like, oh, you watch that? Do you want to watch 10 more of that same thing?
I like my guilty pleasure is to go on Facebook Marketplace at work and just like shop.
Oh, I
right?
love it. Yeah,
so I'll look at one thing and it'll just puke me out a million things at the same thing. It's like, bro, I just wanted to see this one thing. I was just curious. Now my whole timeline is like a plant, like something weird that I would never look into. I was just curious, right? But I feel like if that's the case, then you look at something, you see something, and like now it's just feeding you this, and it's actually like training your brain because you're just seeing the same thing. You get that echo chamber, right? So it's really hard to filter out noise and fake news and stuff like that because you're getting it from one source. So I just, because I'm on X, I talk to my family and that stuff like that about other stuff, and they're like, they don't know what I'm talking about because they're not on X, and it's like, oh, maybe I'm on here too much, right? Because
even when my parents are on X, they're like, you're using all these words I don't understand, and like
I just heard moot today.
It's like insider speak.
Was tagging us in moot, and never like, what are moot? He's like, they're mutuals, bro. I was like,
oh, I haven't even heard that one.
Rock,
pretty good.
Like,
yeah. No, I think the algorithm's funky. I mean, we do get put into bubbles of crypto Twitter or whatever, but it feels like that is fighting against a bigger algorithm push, which is like, let's talk about political news all the time, which is a part of Elon's push and all this other stuff. Before Elon took over, I felt like Twitter was much more crypto Twitter focused, and that has really gotten diluted into like politic Twitter in the past like couple of years, which is at the detriment of our space because it makes even art or coins or anything else political. When
hasn't that been a little bit like political
sometimes
art, in a large, it's a comment on society. It's a mirror back and forth.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah. But that doesn't mean, I mean, that's one level of it. But like, I think there's a lot more drama on the timeline because of how the algorithm wants people to fight about things. Whereas I think most of the time with art, it's like you observe it and you can take away your own meaning from it,
Paris in the 20s, sitting around with Hemingway and Gertrude Stein and little intimate circles, setting narrative. Good.
I think the Twitter DMs are the equivalent of that now. You go hide in there and have actual conversations.
Or not. So talking about, I think about like gaming, for example. Like when it comes to gaming, a lot of people don't really care about like the ownership and stuff like that. Because I don't think something that's happened really bad yet that makes people realize they want it. Do you feel like art is a little easier to cross into the Web 2 because the idea of owning the art and making it, if you have scarce art on the blockchain. Like I look at, like when I went to places that would sell like sports cards, and you have a certificate of authenticity. Now
Mhm.
being able to, with a hash, being able to prove that you own that thing mathematically, I feel like that would be probably an easier sell to people in the art scene, over, because gaming, like I don't think something really bad has happened yet for people to realize they need that.
Yeah, yeah. All it takes is that Pokemon trading card game on the iPhone to reset, and everyone's like, "Whoa, I spent all that time." Um,
Absolutely.
uh, I think there's, yeah. I guess the question you're asking is art a better kind of onboarder for that
Yeah.
Web 2 world? I don't necessarily think so. In some cases, yeah. But to me, art is still a luxury good in many ways. Um, and I still think the NBA Top Shots, the Courtyard IOs, those are a much more easier way for people to go, oh, this is a trading card. This is maybe a real world asset of a trading card that's easier to
Mhm.
trade. I think that's maybe easier for people to wrap their heads around, because art itself is really hard to quantify. But when you show things that are like easier for people to tell what's rare and what isn't, it's easier for people to get into that gambling mood. And whether you agree with it or not, the thing that brings people to the space is often the gamble of ripping open a pack and seeing what they got, or
Minting the
getting
NFT
a
for
rare
the
PFP. Yeah, and so I always look at art as, if you look at the big pie of what people collect physically, you
Mhm.
have the Funko toys, the trading cards, the Pokemon, the video games, the post prints and stuff like that. And then the small sliver of that is like fine art. And
Yeah.
I think our Web3 space will be the same way, where people make their money off this more easily accessible collectible stuff. And then when they want to flex, they'll go and buy an X copy or a CryptoPunk
Yeah.
or something that
And
feels
that's what we saw
more.
a lot of
Yeah.
Rob Ness and all that. Yeah, like we saw a lot of that in 2021. The profits, like a lot of the educated investors who were
Yeah,
like
it's a
obviously not the
long-term investment versus the
I have
short term of a
63
lot of that
super
stuff.
Yetis, if that tells you anything about my investment
I
strategies.
I had a Yeti.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
hell yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I as much as I would love to say, oh yeah, my art is going to bring everybody in, it's not, because nobody outside the space really knows who I am yet, and it won't be until they'll learn about me after they join the space through other means.
How long, I want to ask, like, how long do you think that's going to take? And like, will that shift? Because so much of what we do, like the way we create and trade and exchange value is going to be completely disrupted by AI, right? And now things with that human touch, design, flair, like the
Yeah,
personalities,
yeah,
I feel like that's going to become more important than ever, because I don't connect. Like I can look at a beautiful rendering by AI, but I don't know what the emotion of the AI, like that's what I look at art for, to try to learn about human truths.
yeah.
Like,
I think
you
there's
can't
something. I
reproduce.
mean, it's like the Etsy of NFTs. It's like, I
Yes.
want that handmade. I want that bespoke handmade stuff.
Oh, did you
But
say
the challenge
Spokane?
is, what's that?
Did you say Spokane?
No, I said hand bespoke handmade
Oh,
stuff.
be Spokane. Okay, I was like, I'm from Spokane. Nobody knows where that is. That's weird.
I know where Spokane is.
Okay.
But yeah, I think, well, the challenge is in that scenario, a lot of the artists are going to become AI artists, and integrated into their things. But what the bigger thing you're saying is you're investing in the human behind the ideas,
Mhm.
and I think there is something to that. And as more people get lost in the AI world, they will value human connection more. Artists that can bring together other humans through their art will become more valuable, because it's like an anchor for people to connect with each other
Yes.
around. And yeah, and I think that there is some logic to this idea that, like, 2022 and earlier NFTs will hold more value because they exist in a pre-Midjourney, pre-ChatGPT world, and that they'll exist as these relics before everything became so automated. I think there's truth to that. It won't be everything, but it's like the people that are like the first 10,000 ordinals matter.
Well, look
Um,
at Bitcoin, for example.
Higher
Like
hedge.
look at Bitcoin. Like, what makes it valuable? It's hard to create another one, right? Like, so not having AI and the NFTs that are created before AI were harder to create. It created more man hours. So you didn't
Yeah.
have that tool that shortcut the time. So yeah, I can totally see, like, in that aspect, the way my mind works, of why that would be more valuable, because it literally was harder to make, right?
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I think I have a deep belief in, I'm sure you guys do too, since you're hosting the show, a deep belief that digital art is inevitable and blockchain is the best way for decentralized ownership and provenance of it. And that will only continue to grow over time. And I don't foresee every human on earth owning NFTs, but, there is a point where maybe half of the humans on earth own Bitcoin. And, if 1% of those people own Ethereum, and then 1% of that owns NFTs, that's still a large amount of people that are collecting and trading NFTs. And so I do think it will continue to grow. I don't think it's going to be some like massive onboarding thing like we had when people sold that NFT for 69 million. That was a wild rush where every artist, was like, oh my God, I can sell art. And everybody ran in.
Crypto.
Yeah.
I find it super interesting. Like, typically throughout history, the wealthy people would buy art, gold, watches, jewelry, whatever. Like they would buy things that would, retain their value. And it's kind of interesting to be able to buy fine art and even have like staking. Like, you can stake your, some of your NFTs and make yield on that. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's something that never
That's
existed
interesting. Yeah.
before. And imagine being able to park your wealth in an asset that's, scarce and that will retain your buying power or grow over time, and then get a yield from it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that makes me a little more nervous as an artist in terms of like, am I creating a security? If you're promising future investment gains, I'm a little more, but today Gandhi.xyz, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they do loans for NFTs. They added one of my collections on that. So, people can offer, loans for my art, which people have done in the past. And I think it's an interesting thing that it's also high risk. And I warn people against jumping too much into that. But it's a financial instrument aspect of my art that was not necessarily something I foresaw when I made it, but the space created it. And so whether people fractionalize stuff or do all these other things with the art, that's out of my control for the most part. I think that's the fun of the space, is that it's a playground.
Yeah, it's like, just you get these armies of people, they're financially incentivized for the price of your work to go up. I bet art like Picasso would have loved to have people, all the people that were great and never made money until they died, like,
yeah,
maybe you don't have to be like that because you have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think as an artist, I worry, and I know a lot of us do worry about when I sell a piece of art, I am minting money onto the blockchain and creating a financial asset. And I want my best to make sure it retains its value. I can't ever promise that it will go up in value, but I would like to hope that it retains its value.
Is there a big distinction between Web 2 and Web 3 there, though? Like, wouldn't you hope the
Web
same?
2, with Web 2, I would almost say, like, with Web 2, I would have made t-shirts or prints and send those out to people. And at that point, it's out of my control because I have no idea what happens to it.
Right.
It really becomes on them. In Web 3, I can look at every single piece that moves around, see what the offers are, see what the listings, all that stuff. I'm much more aware of the value around the work I create in this space than, the pieces I made in galleries prior. If I had to account for where they are physically in the world, I could probably only name like maybe 5% of the collectors that hold it, because
Wow.
the galleries don't even tell you who buys it. It's only if those collectors reach out and tell you they buy it.
Mhm.
And
That's
so
interesting.
you're kind of, that's what I liked about the space, is that I have a much more intimate connection with my collectors, and I can reach out and thank them, and they can
Yeah.
join my Discord, and it's a
Yeah.
very different world. But in that same regard, um, if a collector sells it and has a win, I feel great. And if the next person that buys it sees it go down, I feel bad. And so I
Yeah.
think it's a much more mentally taxing world for artists in the space. And I totally understand why a lot of artists backed out over the bear market, because it's we're all a little mentally ill here,
It's like financialized social, financialized art. Like we're just at that stage in human evolution. Like
Yeah.
everything is financialized. So it's not just, it's something that I think us as humans are going to be absorbing and adopting, that as like an understanding that when people provide a value to you, there's that you decide what that value is to exchange at a different time. That value may be different. It's the same thing we've done with stocks for years. It's meme
Yeah.
coins. Like it's, like I would never launch my own meme coin just because the risks involved, but like we're supposed to be out here experimenting. Like maybe not a meme coin,
Yeah.
but like some kind of utility or cool,
That's
like,
where yeah.
and then
I
there's
don't
the
do the
people
meme
that just
coins.
ruin it for everybody, right? And just come in and extract and copy
Yeah.
pasta, and it's just the same teams over and over again. And
It's getting,
I don't think you're
yeah,
ever going to get rid of that though. There's always going to be bad actors. There's always going to be good actors, right? Like
for sure. For sure.
we're human. Like
Yeah.
it's just the nature of the game. But yeah, I think you're talking about, I hope it retains value. I don't see it. When we're talking about AI and how the human touch is going to be, more valuable in the future, I don't see a world where your art doesn't go up, because again, that's going to be valued more, the human touch. And I think because there are so many NFTs now, after the NFT craze happened, and the barrier to entry to create an NFT has gone down, because there's NFTs on all kinds of networks that have, to mint
Hmm.
it costs like a penny or something like that. So I think, like, in my personal opinion, I think choosing the right network is handy, because a lot of the value will go on the underlying network, because a value an NFT on Solana is going to be weighted differently on something on Hedera, for example, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's on the network.
Yeah.
But I think the human touch is where we're gonna go in the future, because AI is just gonna be pumping these things out like crazy, and then it's not value anymore. There's so much supply that what becomes the value, and it's gonna be the human creativity.
It's going to be the narrative, the story. And I think as an artist, you know, when I talk to artists about how to operate in the space, my advice is to split your time three ways. One is making art, one is marketing your art, and one is being active in the space. And you have to do each of those, because it is an attention economy, and our value is not just derived by, um, you know, the sales and the floors and all that other stuff. It's about showing up, getting retweeted, seeing people seeing you, remembering you, then going and looking at what you have available and buying it. That's why I go to a lot of these conventions where I got to see Michaela at NFT NYC. It's like that is marketing to a degree,
It
That
is.
but it's
personal
also
Here we are
connection.
now.
yeah, and it's a networking, and it's just being
Yeah.
there and being on people's minds. I think that we saw a lot of artists take a step back, and they'll come back when things are good again, and they'll be basically starting at square one,
Yeah.
because the space uh, has there's a churn of collectors.
Mhm.
Some have stayed, but there's a lot of new collectors over the past few years that have
Mhm.
joined it since 2023, 2024, that have no idea about 2021. And a lot of those people from 2021 will come back and assume they have their same collector base. And it's totally changed over. And it's up to artists to constantly be
Yeah. Tapping into
reintroducing
the
themselves
community.
to the community.
Yeah, that's amazing. How do you recommend? We don't have probably a ton of time left with you, so I don't want to take. I know you have a baby and a
Uh,
life and do
oh,
important art,
baby's
but
asleep. Yeah.
how do you? How would you recommend like new art collectors? So a lot of our audience, just in fairness, is AVAX. There's some meme coiners. There's some gamers. We have some very high net worth individuals. We have some people who are, like for your average collector that say somebody, this bull market does well, they make 20 to 50,000, and they're looking to start their art collecting career digitally. Where would you recommend that they go and start? What types of assets, or are there certain like
Yeah.
artists to look for, or places to discover, like risk tolerances? Like, how does that whole art world? I own a couple
Yeah.
pieces from friends, right? But like, I'm lost. I wouldn't know how to identify what had value in the space.
Yeah. I'd say the first and best place to go is bryanbrinkman.com. No, I'm just messing.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
we put
there,
that.
there's a lot of
Absolutely.
there's a handful of collections out there that are interesting aggregates of creators. And by that
Okay.
I mean the memes by 6529.
Yes.
There's hundreds of those cards that are higher supply, so they're relatively cheaper because they're in the hundreds of editions. I did one, but pretty much every artist in the space has done one. And so you can look through those cards and get a sense of styles and go, ooh, I
Yeah.
like this artist style, I like this artist style. Another one is Opepin by Jack Butcher.
Yep.
That's another one that kind of aggregates styles. Click Create, NFT boxes, deck of decals. I think, that's going to, if you just looked at those, you're going to basically see like 300 artists, and you can kind of decide, you can look into them and go, I like that. And then you can dig deeper from that point on.
Right. Yeah, it is
That's
personal
kind of
to
the
you,
better
right?
way to go about it, because then the other way is, you listen to all the collectors and say, oh, buy these blue chips, and you can get all these guys, and but you're basically just exit liquidity for those people. If you want to be a collector in the space and really enjoy it, find an artist you like that isn't a top artist, collect a few of their pieces, and then tweet about why you like those pieces, share the art, elevate that artist, be a part of their success. And then when they become bigger, you reap the rewards in a way that you don't get if you're buying the top of other stuff. And you get to help an artist succeed. I think that's one of the beautiful parts of the space that a lot of collectors overlook, is that you get to be a part of the journey, especially if you find artists that are emerging. And you can actually help steer them in the right direction. In certain cases, don't go telling them what to do, but you can encourage them, you
Right.
can do all this other stuff.
Or
I
say,
think
hey, I know this
that's a
person.
beautiful part of the
It's a
space.
great
But
connection.
a,
Yeah.
a lot of collectors don't have the time and investment. But if you just pick 2 or 3 artists you like and you retweet them and share them and tell your friends about them, the space is small and you can make a big difference. I think there's something really interesting there. And yeah, I mean, there's Super Rare and all these places, these platforms and stuff. But yeah, it's hard to discoverability is still a struggle in this space. And so I can't point to like one place that might be
Right.
like a directory or something like that. But I
That's fair.
find following artists on Twitter, they're going to usually share other artists they like, and that's usually the best alpha. Not to toot my own horn, but I learn about a lot of the artists that I like and collect from other artists, and a lot of people learn about artists from what I like and share. And I think that a lot of the artists in the space have an art background. They went to college for art. They have all these other things that a lot of collectors in the space don't necessarily have. They're mostly just going based on word of mouth or floor prices and that kind of stuff. And so I usually lean on young artists and see what they're kind of into. You can always look through people's wallets and see what they're collecting. Um, there's something fun in the discovery of on your own, where you go, I found this artist early. That's much
Yeah.
more exciting than being told who to buy.
Yeah. And it's just more, it's like long term, right? Like we have this like 2 minutes and I need to exit something mindset, attention spans. And like we
Yeah.
need more of these things that get us to slow down and say, what is it we're really doing here? Like
Well,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
an extraction mill. And if we keep putting out products with flywheels and like, whatever, like the flywheel ends and somebody gets
Absolutely.
screwed at the end. Is that,
Yeah.
is that the
And if you
model?
get
And I think,
if you get the artist early, it's very affordable. You can get it for
yeah,
like under 0.1 ETH usually, for like a one of
yeah,
one or something. And then when they're selling for over 1 ETH, you got a really cool flex. We said
yeah.
I found them when they were super early. And so yeah, that's the magic, in my opinion.
That's
Who's one cheap artist you want to shill? Like one up and coming artist that just on the show you'd give a little boost to, if you have one. If not,
Well,
don't
I
worry
would
about
recommend. I host a show on Fridays called Art First with Adam Tastic. This Friday we have Mendez on, who's a wonderful artist, so I'll shout him out. I think he just became or Now Media's like artist in residence or something like that. But we bring artists on, we talk about process, and then each of us, me, Adam Tastic, and the artist bring 3 pieces of art we've collected recently and talk about why we like them and show them to each other blindly. And that basically, if you tune into the show, you're getting basically 10 artists recommended each show. And so that's my shill for that show.
I love that. No, we'll put it,
Awesome.
we'll do some clips from this show. And if you can send me the link for that,
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna put it in all of them because I'd love to help you promote that. I think
Thanks. It's
artists
fun.
don't
We've
get
done.
enough attention and love and places to talk about the amazing things they're doing. And they're one of the only respectable kind of like products that's really coming out, you know, that people can wrap, you know, we're in Christie's and stuff now because
like you said, there's good and bad in everything.
right. But you know, yeah, and
I
I'm sure
totally
there's
love the
people
connection
there.
to the community. Like how you go out, like you said, you have your Discord. For me, that's huge. I will more likely buy something from somebody I've met in person or that I've connected with in the space. I'm more likely to support people that I trust, that I that you build a connection
Yeah.
with. And I have artists in my in my life. They're small artists that I bought their art just, and I don't even care about the money. I want to
Yeah.
support them because I want to help them. But on the other hand, I just like the art. I just like buying a nice picture, an NFT, or a trading card or something like that. I don't really care about the money. For me, art, I buy what I like. And I'm more likely to buy something that's not from a stranger.
Yeah. But there's plenty of anonymous artists in the space that are respectable as well. So it's a catch-22 in that sense. But I totally agree with that. I think meeting people in real life is a huge benefit to building, like I said, building trust and getting to kind of know the mind behind it.
Yeah.
I feel very
I think
lucky that I
some
live in the New
artists,
York City vicinity because I've had the ability to connect with so many awesome artists and collectors in the space
right.
through New York.
Do you know Apocalypse Art?
Yes, yeah, I saw him. He was there at NFT
I,
last year.
no way. I've known him for years and I've collected a couple of his pieces.
Really? Oh,
I
yeah.
met his daughter. I can't remember what a conference we were at, but I got to meet his daughter. He's a really good. So he's one I would shout out.
Yeah, he's great. He's got a big drop coming up. He was showing me some previews at NFT.
Oh, no way. Nice. Well, that's exciting. All right, Mike, you have anything else?
I'm good. I'm just vibing with the whole community thing. That's my whole thing lately. It's like nothing survives without community. So I'm really glad to see that you value that, and keep doing what you're doing, man. I love your art. That especially that one where the one that you had at Super Rare where the one was walking,
yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
That thing is crazy. That's just honestly like there's a lot of art out there, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of it's like not that great, but like this was really. That's the first thing when I walked in. I'm like, wow, that
was a
really,
Good Vibes Club
that's
event.
really,
Shout out Good Vibes Club.
hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I
We
walked
have an
in.
interview coming from them.
I walked in and I saw that. I was like, that's
It's
really
nice.
cool. And then I saw we were interviewing you, and I'm like, holy crap, that's the one the guy made. It's amazing. Because it was the first thing that I saw that stood right out to me.
Thanks. Well, that quick note on that piece, which you probably couldn't tell from the thing, but it's actually a clock that changes every hour and drains over the course of the day and then refills at night.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it's
No
actually
way.
so it's a dynamic NFT. So depending on what time of the day you look at the NFT, it's
That's
at 9 a.m.
cool.
starts fully full of energy, and all those icons are like energy drainers.
Yeah.
And the battery life
Like,
dies.
I don't even believe in time anymore. So that's a perfect, like, I would like
That's
to
so
do away
cool.
with all, you know, and
Yeah.
have something else to represent the passing of time for me. And I would,
Yeah,
I could get
I'm a
behind
big-
it.
I'm a-
And I'd be like,
I'm a big fan of clock NFTs.
I love
So,
honestly, I love the animated art. Like for me, like when it comes to NFTs, I love going to conferences and seeing them on the screen, the ones that are animated. It's so cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
yeah.
I'm a real believer that I said it earlier, but animation, like the things that excite me about the space are the art that couldn't be done physically. So whether it's animation or dynamic or generative or any of those things, those are the things that get me programmable. Those are the things that get me really excited about the space because they're the things that you can talk to normies about and say, hey,
Yeah.
this is why this is different,
Cool.
and this is
Yeah.
why it's interesting.
Yeah.
So any sort of piece of art that's kind of educational to people outside the space is special to me.
Awesome, man.
I love that.
it.
Well, hopefully we have you back on again in like 6 months or a year, and you have
Yeah.
some like crazy new innovation far beyond the time
Oh,
clock
it'll be
piece of
fun.
art. I love that. Like,
Everything's crazy. Next week, I'm going out to Rio for the Rio art residency with a bunch of NFT artists.
Nice.
We're all going to go live in
no
Rio for a week
way.
and make art. It's going to be great.
That sounds awful.
Shut-
I feel really bad for you.
So I'll have a cool piece of art at the Super Rio Gallery for that in the fall.
That's amazing. Well, we're happy to keep supporting you. Like when you
Sweet.
tweet out some new stuff from the show, like consider us a friend, Bryan Brinkman. Like we want to
Likewise.
support artists and like help get the word out. And especially, you know, we're a different part of the space, a different community, AVAX and different people. So it's always good to bring new eyes to
I like
ecosystem.
AVAX.
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah, well, good answer. Me too.
There we
They
go.
pay me to say that, but I also like them regardless.
Yeah, they throw great events too.
They do.
Yes, they do. Yeah, Summit was glasses here. Awesome. Well, we'll let you go. We're gonna, unless you want to stay for the charts, but I know you don't love meme coins, so it's like
I don't hate meme coins.
downhill
I
from
just
here.
don't personally want to make them. That's where
Yeah.
I trade them. I just don't make
Yeah.
them.
There
Do
we
you
go.
know Jack Nefty?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so I onboarded him to the arena yesterday, which is where we're streaming this partly on the arena and partly on X. And we're going to go into a little bit of the lore on the show. But anyways, I was like, yeah, get in the arena. I'll buy your ticket. He launched a token within like 5 minutes and I like saw it on the thing. So I bought like 0.05 and tweeted it. And then people started piling in and I was like, oh God. So now like we basically CTO'd what he thought was making a tipping token. He has this whole like,
yeah?
if you know him, you know, has ideas about DAOs and why they don't work and all, you know, he's gone pretty far down some rabbit holes and there's some lore with the Jack Nefty character. So he's kind of building it into the world. So we're going to talk a little bit about Nefty coin, which is now live on the arena, and then some of the other stuff.
Man.
So
Well, I'll let you guys get to it. I gotta go check on the kid. But thank you for having me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much
absolutely.
for coming by.
Thank you so much, Bryan. Chat soon.
Cheers.
All right. Let's get into some charts.
Yeah, that was so classy. Let's go straight downhill. I feel very refined. I'm gonna put my
Are you?
I am gonna put my
All right, let me
serious
just
outfit back
switch
on.
my screens around real quick. Get this on full screen. Boom. All right.
Ooh, which one will make me look the smartest?
SMRT.
Okay. We'll be analyzing some charts here. What chart are we starting with?
All right. Let me
Quick comment.
let me
You
bring
do.
up- All right,
You
so,
do you.
So let's start with the the big boy, which is Bitcoin. So
Oh, I thought you meant Nefty.
no,
Nefty's
we're gonna save the best for last, obviously.
Okay.
So we gotta start with we gotta build the whole picture here. Okay. So Bitcoin had a dip. I was pulling this a little earlier. I pulled a Fibonacci on Bitcoin just to see where potentially we can go. So it looks like we're bouncing off the 0.5 here, but I still think we might make a bear flag here, come up a little bit, and maybe make another leg down. So I did put alerts here at 113,000 and 110,000, which would be a 618 retracement or a 786. 786 is a usually really good bounce point, and the 618 is probably a very common place to bounce. So we're just watching the stochastic RSI and the RSI. This is the 4-hour chart. If we go to the daily, this is kind of what I've been following mostly, because it looks like the daily dip is just starting. We were overheated here. We're coming down. So look for that to come, like I said, to my 618, 786. Even if we just go sideways, it'll reset the RSI and the stochastic, even if we just go sideways, which is perfect. Sideways is what we want for altcoins. So leading into that, let's talk about Ethereum, because Bitcoin's been dipping, but Ethereum is at 31.35. We went up like $100 today. So this is what I said on my stream last week. If you guys watched the Modern Canadian stuff, I was talking about Ethereum blasting through the 200-day moving average. Now, most altcoins haven't even touched their 200-day moving average. They're underneath it. And the 200-day moving average on the daily for me is the line between bull market and bear market. So Ethereum blasting through this and getting quite far from the 200-day moving average is very, very important for altcoins. As we can see, I had a big falling wedge that it broke out of, and then it made another consolidation pattern, and we broke out of that as well. So the price target for Ethereum here is probably going to be the base of this right here, and looks like we're almost hitting it. Like looking at like 3,300, 3,321, somewhere around there to hit. So if Ethereum stays above the 200-day moving average, I am very, very bullish on Ethereum. And then we have to look at the big picture. Bitcoin dominance dropping like crazy, and that's for altcoins. When the Bitcoin dominance goes down, altcoins usually go up, and you're starting to see it. And the money for me, I'm what I'm seeing right now is money just flowing into Ethereum. Like money's coming out of Bitcoin. The other altcoins aren't really going crazy; they're all red, but Ethereum's going up, right? So that tells me the money's going into Ethereum, and then we just got to look at the Bitcoin dominance, or sorry, not Bitcoin dominance, the Tether dominance. Tether dominance continues to go down, and Bitcoin dominance goes down. Money's going to
Tether
altcoins.
dominance, but can you explain that to me? Because I know what Tether is, but why does its dominance relative to the price of tea in China?
So how it works in the crypto markets, we always got to understand money flow. Money goes from Bitcoin to top altcoins, and then to mid caps, small caps, and then micro caps. So right now, we had a big run up of Bitcoin. People are taking their profits, and now they're rolling it into the altcoins because they're going to make a percentage of returns on your Bitcoin. Then you're going to roll into altcoins. Altcoins are going to go up. You're going to make more returns, and then you're going to rotate it back to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will have its another run in the future. So when you look
Okay,
at
that's not what I thought. I was like, we can't be done with Bitcoin, right?
no,
What
no,
are we
no, no,
hitting?
no, no. We're just gonna come down, cool off for a bit, and the altcoins do the thing. So why I say we gotta look at Tether dominance, because if Bitcoin dominance is going down, but Tether dominance, stable coins are going up, that means people are just moving their money into stable coins. But if the Tether dominance is going down, then that tells me the money is not going into stable coins. It's actually going to the altcoins because there's nowhere else for it to go. If it's not if it's coming out of Bitcoin, but it's not going to stable coins, then it has to be going to altcoins. So that gives me like a mental picture of like, okay, what kind of market are we seeing? And then you're starting to kind of see it come to fruition when I look at Bitcoin dipping and Ethereum going up. So that tells me right there, that's more things telling me that like what I'm thinking is correct. So we look at Ethereum, and then we look at like, just look at, AVAX, for example. AVAX is, we rounded bottoms pay the bills. That's the way we're saying. We got a nice rounded bottom over here, and we're getting close to that 200-day moving average. You're seeing it in all the altcoins. Solana's touching its 200-day moving average. Ondo's almost there. Big time. Like almost every altcoin looks exactly the same right now. So you're starting to see it coil up, and once we blast through this 200-day moving average, we're back in a bull market for altcoins. So altcoin season is upon us. So let's talk about the coins that we want to get in before money flows into them. Things like Nifty. So let's take a look.
Like
at
Jack Nifty token.
Absolutely. Let me bring it up
Tell me
here.
all about it. I'll talk about the lore a little bit while you're pulling that up. Like I think I kind of started to say it when Brian was here, but literally, like Jack was just onboarding to the arena for me to buy his ticket, and he launched a token on accident, and then like it just blew up from there. But I want to read you something that he just sent me in the DMs. He's been working on this stuff for like, it's just a crazy thing. He's been working on something for years. He just happened to launch this token. He's like, wait a minute, this can fit in really well. There's a amazing community rallied around behind it. But he was like, he says, this has really lit a fire under my ass. No longer overwhelmed, just focused on the other parts of the plan, surfing these energy waves of the AVAX community. And I think that's so cool. Like, to have somebody that was already working on something. He almost launched something on Solana last year, but didn't, just timing, and wasn't really like feeling great about Solana because everybody's fucking Jeters there. No offense if you're a Solana maxi. Also, excuse my French for cussing. Actually, not really on either of those. I take it all back. But you know what I'm saying? Like the vibe wasn't right? And he joins AVAX, and I've had him come in, and now Claude has come in. He's talking about bringing his some of his game. He has a gaming faction. He's talking about doing some streaming on the arena. He's loving the ticket system. He bought some Nifty. Like, I think that's really what we need in the arena, is just opening doors and supporting these new communities that are really looking for home. Like the Bored Apes, I came in 2021. They were the coolest. DM'd them all to try to get my first job. One wrote me back, gave me my first job. Like, you know, there were so many of them that were just such good people, and those are the ones who are left today. So like seeing them still build, I know you guys had some ups and downs, and you know, I don't know how I feel about that as a whole, but there's some amazing collectors and amazingly builders within that community, and I think giving them fresh eyes on some of these things they've been working on outside of just, you know, we're talking about the echo chambers, just chilling it in the echo chamber of Yuga Labs, like that's even smaller than, you know, AVAX or Monad or any of these teeny tiny little communities.
That's the
So
one
it's a
thing I
pretty
love
focused
about
work.
Web3 is like the amount of creativity people have and the things that they
Yeah,
think of to build. It's honestly astonishing how smart a lot of the people that I've met in crypto are and like what they're building. And you know the
you're
cool
talking
thing
about
about
me,
it, they're
right?
all trying to make the world better. We're all trying to upgrade our current, you know, systems and everything to make the world a better place.
Oh, thank you, Mike. I knew you were talking about me.
Absolutely. Well, hell yeah, man.
All of that.
If
But
you're
that's why we're,
if
you
you're
know,
not a
like it
Mick
does.
ticket holder on the arena, like what are you doing?
Are you a MIC ticket holder?
I am definitely a McTicket holder. A McTicket. It sounds like I'm
Okay.
talking about McDonald's right now. McTicket holder. It's on
Go to
it's on the value
McDonald's.
menu. The McTickets.
Four AVAX McTickets. They're on sale today.
Oh my
I had
god.
somebody, I had a whale that had, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. And you know, kind of in Jesus fashion. It was like, yeah, if you get rid of a couple, it's gonna like not scare so many people that you're gonna dump my floor price. So she's been like
Dude.
trimming out. Okay, so let's look at this chart. It's not
All right.
very old. This all happened at like what, like 6 in the afternoon on a Monday. I don't know. And where are we at?
So I put a post about this earlier. I said, Nifty on the arena, and Apes on the arena, which is pretty cool. And then I said, I love me a falling wedge, and falling wedges break out to the upside, 64 to 74% time, very very bullish pattern. And we had a nice big, mind you, this is on the hourly chart because like you said, the chart is not that old. So we go with the hours are pretty good one to trade. So big falling wedge on the hourly chart. I put the post in right here. So if you got in when I bought, you could have got yourself a nice 74% increase. Obviously, we've rolled down. It's not time for this to pop off yet, guys. It's not. We don't
It's
have
not
the
what?
friends.
Say
We
that
not.
again.
It's not time for it to pop off yet. We don't have. It's not altcoin
Okay.
season. We don't have the frenzy yet. This is why you want to be building now. You want to be buying dips, right? Like that's the way I do it. You sell the rips, you buy the dips, and it will continue to oscillate. So let's take a look at a smaller time frame because this is going to be hard to make a picture of what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we came back down here. We basically tested the we're back in the pattern essentially. We're basically testing where we broke out at. So let's see where this goes. Again, we need volume to pick up. Right now, like I said, volume looks like it's going into Ethereum. Ethereum is the leader of all coins, right? Like I don't like
Mm-hmm.
people like your meme coins are not going to pop off like crazy until Ethereum does because Ethereum's got to make its
Tell
move
it
first.
what? What's the target?
For Ethereum,
Yeah.
I think realistically, I'm more conservative than most people. I think realistically, we're looking at anywhere between 65 to 8,500 for Ethereum. A lot of people are saying 10,000 and up.
Yeah. Art
And
Chick would be really mad at you right now. I'm beginning
honestly,
to tell her
it could happen, but like I'm gonna have to see where Bitcoin goes because again, money's gonna flow from Bitcoin to altcoin. So we'll see if
Mhm.
Bitcoin goes to like 200K this bull run. And then you know what, $10,000 for an Ethereum is definitely on the table. I still think it's on the table now, but again, I'm more of a risk adverse, and more conservative in my thoughts because I've lived
Boom.
through
Please say
2021 where I thought it was gonna go. Everyone thought it was gonna maybe I have PTSD from everyone thought it was gonna go to
I know.
100K in 2021.
Dude,
And
I
it didn't.
know. That's what everyone needs to stop being so afraid of right now. That's the problem with this bull market is everybody has PTSD from the last bull market and they're afraid to believe in something. And they keep chasing just whatever comes. The same people keep launching the same
And you know what?
token
You're so
over
right
and over,
because
and you keep falling for it.
I have lost money being safe, and you know what? Like for me, again, you got to find your personal risk tolerance in this space, and if you're
Mine is
comfortable with it, go nuts. I have a very low, risk tolerance, so I do things and I operate a certain way because of that. But I've lost a lot of money. I didn't think Solana was going to come back. I could have got Solana at $2, and
Woo.
and it went up like crazy because after what
Whatever.
happened to 2021 with all the shutdowns of the blockchain, I was like, I don't want to touch this. Right, the whole FTX debacle. I didn't want to touch it, and you know what?
Yeah.
I missed out on that. Right, so
Buy when there's blood in the streets, Mike. You can't be scared. And if you just
absolutely.
consistently do that, man. Okay, so I've told you I got into Neo really early when it was like $2, and I just like believed, right? Like you come up with a thesis, if it makes sense, like you might have to continually revisit it, but you just believe and hold. And that's what I did with GameStop, believe and hold. Did I hold a little too long? Sure. I'm not good at selling, but like that's what I'm doing with Nifty, and that's what I'm doing with AVAX and Arena. I think those are my 3 AVAX plays this season. What's up, Sorrowful? I was about to say hey in the chat. If you guys
All
have
right.
anybody, by the way, in the chat, especially on Arena, because I swear the Twitter chat's messed up and I can never see what people are talking about. But if you have charts that you would like us to take a look at, let us know in the chat. If you have any questions, let us know in the chat. We are, of course, happy to answer those. Yeah, I can't even find the chat on there. But yeah, Mike, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, no worries. So we're gonna take a look at okay, let's look at Lambo next. So when it comes to Nifty, just keep your eye on it. Again, you want to be buying now when we come and retest like previous support levels, especially now like we came back down basically to the bottom. So you want to get in here because when altcoin season picks up, like things will go up that don't even make sense and why they went up. Like you gotta get in, and this is a good project with good people behind it. So you're definitely gonna get some value out of that. So keep your eye on Nifty. And there's so much more. Like they're gonna be building. Like if you guys check in the comics and everything like that, what's going on, the whole lore behind it. We're just getting started here. So let's check out the next
And
one
we
I
have
got.
the #1 podcast in all of crypto supporting it, and the #1 marketer in all of crypto behind Coop. Marketer number 1.2 behind Coop. Don't tell Finn or Camel that I said that, please. But like, you got some fire.
All right. So I was
Let's
looking
talk
at this a
Lambo.
little earlier. And I was like, oh, okay, like this looks really cool. Okay, so falling wedges. Again, more falling wedges.
Your favorite.
You
If
know
I had
what?
a falling
If you're gonna
wedge for
trade
every time you said falling wedge,
I was thinking
I would
about
have a
this today.
house built of falling wedges.
So I was thinking about this today, and I'm like, you know what? Like, if you just like trade falling wedges, then you're probably going to be pretty successful because again, they break out to the upside most likely, and they're consolidation patterns. Like we have one here, right? We had a nice falling wedge here, or right now when these you have channels like this, if it comes into this channel from an uptrend, then it's a continuation pattern. As you can see, textbook right here, uptrend came into then you chopped around, you consolidated all the way down, boom, rip, right? And that's it. And we're doing it again. And actually, if technically you can look at this now, it looks like it broke out. So if you're trying to, and I have my measurement here, so we measure the base of this here right here. So Lambo could be going, to this line, which would be 0.03 if I'm not mistaken, which potentially could be. Now I don't know how long it's going to take to get here, but from what I see here, you can look at a 50% move in next month or so.
That thing has moved like 50% up, down, left, right, 100%.
It's a good
circle.
chart, right? We had a big run up. You don't like
Yeah.
just like rounded bottoms pay the bills, rounded tops are no good. And then we had
Yeah.
this huge downtrend, right? Which again, another falling wedge, falling channel, right? Actually, you can even extend this. Like this could even go
We
into
just have a
here.
lot of falling wedges because everything's going down.
Well, just that's how crypto works. You go up, you have a big run up, the momentum wears off, and then you make some sort of topping pattern, and then there's different patterns on the way down. You either gonna fall down, make a bear flag roll where you'll kind of do something like this. You'll come down, and then you'll make a pattern like this, and you keep coming down until you make some sort of bottoming pattern, and then you start coming back up. Or you have falling wedges, which is basically just accumulation, and then you have it rips up, and then Bitcoin did the same thing back in I believe in April of 2024. You had your all-time high, and then you had 7 months of a consolidation pattern similar to this. You come up and you consolidate again, and you're just starting the next run. This is a continuation pattern. So Lambo
It's
looks
like a bull flag-ish a little, right?
it's
like the
it's
one
more like a falling wedge. Like a bull flag would be something like this. You'd have a rip,
straight
and then it would make something like this. It would make a little pattern, kind of like this, get a little tight, and then it would
Yeah,
just continue on after out of here, right?
so good with those lines.
But yeah, this is more of like a falling wedge, falling a channel. But again, coming into it from an uptrend means it's usually a continuation pattern. If it comes to it from downtrend, it'll consolidate and continue down. So this looks pretty good to me. All right. Is there
Good.
anything else that we want to? Oh, we want to look at Arena.
I want to look at Arena, and if you don't mind looking at Home Token too,
No problem.
while you're pulling up the charts. The reason I am so bullish on Arena, I'm sure all of you in the arena know, is because as a champion, you get a percentage of every token that graduates. You get 20% APR for everything that you have staked. And I am mad bullish on the future here. This is one of my big picks and plays for this bull market. And then Home is another one. It's a decentralized trading platform that feels centralized in the front, and they have a mobile app coming. So these are two of my picks that I think I'm going to do really well on. So I would love to take a peek at those charts.
Okay, so looking at Arena, I had it in a bit of falling wedge. Again, falling wedges
Okay.
break to the upside, more often than not. They did break out to the upside, but then we kind of went sideways.
Mhm.
I've seen something similar to this in VeChain. VeChain kind of did this for a while. So it's just, again, it's not as time. There's not a whole lot of volume maybe going into it yet. I think people are probably putting their money. Honestly, to be honest, people are probably just putting their money in the tokens on the Arena, and that's probably where the
Mhm.
liquidity is going. A lot of people aren't really buying or selling Arena. They're probably just staking. It's probably just sitting there. So that's kind of
Yeah.
why it's flat, right? So this kind of looks like a dividend stock that just pays you dividends and retains its value. But we could be doing something
Yeah.
like similar to this right here, right? We're going sideways before we
I
start
think
making
it's
moves
like
up.
consolidating, right? And like they just announced version 2,
Well,
and there's
consolidation could be sideways as well. It doesn't have to go down to consolidate. It can just consolidate
yeah,
sideways. So
yeah.
I've seen plenty of altcoins do this. It's just, again, it's not as time yet. We're gonna have to wait for things to really pop off with AVAX and altcoins to start making some headway. I don't see why Arena won't be part of it. You just right now
Right.
we just gotta wait for it to make some sort of pattern. Right now, flat is not good. Not good for a pattern. We want to see it start to round up or come
Right.
down and make a bottoming pattern. But
Is
I
this
would,
a good time to accumulate, maybe?
yeah, I would just watch your support and resistance levels. Like, I'll put these lines here. So right now we're kind of fighting with this right here, these candles right here. So if we lose this, we're
Yeah.
probably going to come down to this blue line. If we lose that, we're going to come down to that blue line. So I would just keep your eyes on those. Maybe we bounce off this, and it's good if this was resistance before, and now it's potentially
Mhm.
support, right? So if we
Support.
bounce off this, then we bounce off a support level, and up we go. So just keep your eye on your support and resistance levels. Again, if it breaks through this and we go down, we're probably going to go down to here. So then we'll be another buying opportunity. Dollar cost average. That's all I would recommend. Just dollar cost average. If you believe in the coin and you believe you want to hold for the future, you want to be buying these dips, and you want to be buying before the market goes crazy, not as it goes crazy. Because don't be like,
How many multiples? Say AVAX went to, I mean, I think higher than this cycle. I'm not going to give predictions or whatever, but just pretend AVAX goes to something like 100, right? Like a 5x. What do you think that Arena would be a leveraged bet on AVAX? Like, knowing what you know about the support that they're getting from AVAX, the creators that are coming on, would it be like a similar trajectory 5x, or do you think it might 20, 30, what's the potential outsized return here, and what's the risk
for Arena or for AVAX?
for Arena,
I
depending on what AVAX does?
It depends. You know how this game is. It's the attention economy. So what I do like is the arena does have the attention right now. The tokens are doing really well. The whole tipping mechanism is doing really well. So as long as that we can keep up with that and keep it fresh, maybe new features come in the future, and
TikTok login.
yeah,
We get a bunch of
just
TikTok
keep
creators.
as long as they I believe it's Jason, as long as it keeps building and keeps it fresh and new things coming in and making the space better and listening to the community, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
But it really, it's gonna flow from AVAX first and then down into the ecosystem, or even as AVAX goes up, you're gonna see,
Mhm.
because you gotta figure every coin has a pairing against AVAX. It'll be like AVAX
Yeah. And
versus
the other thing
Arena. As
too
long as
is
it
I
keeps that
can see
parity, it'll go up with AVAX.
AVAX helping to push Arena even before AVAX starts pumping, right? Because it's like if it integrates with TikTok and you can log in and they, the way I'm kind of seeing it is AVAX has been flaunting on the timeline that they are flying on TikTok, like 2.4 million views within starting opening the thing. They brought on Brooke Lacey, who of course is our friend. She's going to do some content for them on TikTok as well. So they're scaling TikTok. Arena is getting ready to do logins with TikTok. So you have to wonder about the timing of these two events. I think AVAX is going to use Arena as like, I guess I wouldn't call it a loss leader, but like the show pony of the ecosystem, right? Like
Well,
Financialized Social really has a chance to make it. And this product is close. And if they can get access to TikTok, I've seen it streamed on TikTok to thousands of people, and like there's no tips, right? There's no community. It's, unless you're just a top creator there. So I'll let you go ahead because I know I've said a lot. Like, what do you think about
so
that?
I think of like oh man, TikTok. I think of Metcalfe's law. So Metcalfe's law is the value of a network is based on the amount of users. As long as the users go up, the value of the network goes up. So thinking, with that logic, then I would say that of course, it would go up because you have more users. So more users
Mhm.
means more people getting into the ecosystem, and the first thing you do when you get into the ecosystem, you usually buy Arena, right?
Right.
So yeah, if you have more users, of course it's going to go up. It has to, right? Like, just think of Facebook, Google, anything. The more users you have, the more valuable the stock becomes, right? So
Imagine a huge co-marketing campaign between Arena
yeah,
and AVAX.
absolutely. I don't see a world where it doesn't affect price.
Yeah.
And I'm of the motion that most altcoins that are actually building something good in the space, and Arena being one of them, are
Mhm.
so undervalued right now.
I think so.
We haven't seen Ethereum has done nothing all bull market. When Ethereum pops off, it's gonna rip everything up with
Yeah.
it. I don't know who hasn't been here last cycle. Ethereum did nothing for months. Months.
Forever.
Everyone, I've been like for like I've been in here for 3 cycles now, and every cycle, Ethereum's dead. Ethereum's garbage. Like, everyone complains about Ethereum, but it ripped so hard in 2021. It pulled Bitcoin up with it and all the
Yeah.
altcoins. So
Yeah, I
that's
remember budding. Like it feels
everybody
just
does.
like
It's like
that
part of
all
the
over
culture
again.
almost, right? It's like,
I know. I
shit
tweeted
on
earlier. I'm like,
Ethereum.
oh, all of a sudden everybody's knee bold, and I'm like, wait, I said that last time.
So
Jeez.
you gotta wait for, again, money to flow to these ecosystems. But if you believe in the project, if you have conviction and you've done your own research, then this is the time when you want to be buying before it gets crazy. Because as things move up, that's when you want to start laddering out your profits, not buying more as it's going up. Don't be like me in 2021.
Don't be like me in 2021. Unless everybody go to a 1/8 floor, in which case do be like me in 2021. There is a case for that to happen, by the way. Like I'm still friends with the founder. There is a path to making that happen.
So home,
You gotta have,
is this
yeah,
the
you
right
gotta have
one?
your irons in a lot of different fires, if you know what I mean.
Is this the right home? I just want to make sure. Is
I think it's on base.
that on base?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's the
DeFi
one?
app.
Okay,
Yep.
I just want to make sure. Okay, let's take a look. I've never looked at this chart. Actually, maybe once before. I think you asked me to show it to you. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting, interesting. So what did I say before? Rounded bottoms pay the bills. So this looks like it could be an Adam and Eve double bottom or a W pattern.
Oh God, what did I just type in there? Black Hole Dex is about, it just launched too. The airdrop is live. So if you haven't done the airdrop checker, I think I just posted that link.
All right, let's take a look at a smaller time frame on home because the daily doesn't show me too much. Again, it looks like we're rounding. Like I said, round and bottoms, pay the bills. So
Okay.
we could, there's many things that we could do. We could come up here and make like a cup and handle. We go up like this, make a cup, and then off we go. Or we can just make, like I said, that if we did that Adam and Eve double bottom, it would be here and then double bottom and then off we go. So it looks pretty good. Looks like it's starting to come alive again. Um, again, I would just if you're day trading this, you would just look at the the stochastic RSI and the RSI. Looks like we're overheated stochastic, but we can just go sideways and reset this. It doesn't have to go down for that to reset. I would put more weight on the actual RSI here, and we're undervalued here because we're below the 50 line, but it is pointing down, so we could have a little bit more. So again, I would just follow your support and resistance lines. So
Okay.
we look at here, we look at here, we look at here, right? So these
Okay.
are your lines. So you're bouncing in this channel right now. If we lose this line, we're gonna probably come down to here.
Okay.
All right. If we bounce off this channel and come here, we could bounce around here for a while, right? We can just go sideways and bounce in this channel
Right.
until we break through it, and then it's then we gotta worry about this one. We gotta fight for this one.
We're
So
in the age of applications. Aren't all these applications supposed to be running? It's finally the tech that's going to onboard people.
well, I'll tell you what I'm seeing right now, and we might have another falling wedge.
Oh my God.
Look at
No
that.
way.
Absolutely.
Imagine that.
And no. Okay, so we have a falling wedge. Boom. I'm just gonna get rid of my lines right here so everybody can see a little bit more clearly. So if this is a falling wedge and we do break up to the upside, we could bounce around this channel maybe up till here, and we could move up to 2.6 cents. So maybe that would be from here. That would be a I don't know 12% move from here. Again, this is on the 1 hour. So again, looks like we're starting a new trend, right? This is I would follow maybe this trend right here. Maybe we can come up here and it's just like bounce off this trend on the way up. So keep an eye on that. But I see a falling wedge. Falling wedges break to the upside 64 to 74% of the time. So keep your eye on that.
So should I ETH
Pardon
or
me?
DeFi app with this money that I have in this DeFi app account? Should I hold ETH or DeFi or home? Sorry, ETH or home right now, or should I go 50-50?
Well, ETH would be less risky. If you want to go a higher risk, then you go home. And home looks like it's coming down to the bottom of the channel. It may not break out yet. So it's coming down. So I would maybe put a buy alert on this. If you're following this channel, maybe look at this like when it comes off the channel and start to see the bounce back up. You can even just trade the channel. You can just every time it comes off the bottom of the channel, you buy and then you sell at the top. You can even just trade the channel.
Well, I've been like swapping ETH and home back and forth, like trying to up my ETH a little bit and my home.
Yeah, I would, as long as you're not getting eating away by fees, then
I'm not.
Yeah, you just gotta calculate your.
I'm up on the amount of ETH that I have. I have like 1.7 ETH in there now, and I started with like 1.4.
Yeah,
and then also I'm farming points for the airdrop.
Absolutely.
So I'm like stacking wins.
Well, ETH is really cheap to use right now, and I believe it's on Base, so Base is like even cheaper to use. So, as long as you're making your returns and you're not getting eaten away by fees, then absolutely do it. Like that's for me. That's what I do with all my altcoins. You know, the end goal here for me is to buy more Bitcoin. So I use my altcoins to buy more Bitcoin. I don't hold altcoins in the bear market, or you shouldn't. It should all go back in the Bitcoin.
I hold them all bear market.
And then you come back, because it usually takes from the top to the bottom. It's usually about a year, and then you come back and you buy your altcoins again, because that's where the money's really made, is from the bottoms to the tops, right? Instead of just buying on the way up.
That's how you make it, like, from our perspective, right? Like coming in, like, I had a good career in marketing. You have a good career as a mechanic, making like normal person money, and you come in and you can't just afford. Well, I guess maybe I could have, if I wasn't an idiot, and Bitcoin dipped to like 13,000 a year and a half ago. I should have bought all of it then. But like you kind of have to take on a little more risk, right? Like, or you don't. Like there's multiple ways to play it. Some people
depends on your time horizon. If you're in here for the long game, if you're in your if you're not like, retired, maybe if you're 60 or 70 years old, maybe you don't have 20 years to invest. But if you're,
Mhm.
I'm 37, in my eyes, I still have a long time to invest. So I'm
Yeah.
here for the long game.
95% alts, 5% Bitcoin, right?
No, I'm mostly in Bitcoin, but I
I
do have a
know.
lot of alts. Like I'm not a Bitcoin maxi where it's like Bitcoin and nothing else, because to me that's like, the Blockbuster moment. Like, Blockbuster laughed Netflix out of the room, and they could have bought Netflix,
Right.
and like lo and behold, where's Blockbuster now, right? So
That's,
everything,
that's
there's room for everything to survive. There's so much damn money in this world that everybody can get a piece of it. But
it's
you
not
got
even real, it's energy.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think home looks pretty cool. Falling wedges, I love me some falling wedges, and you saw from all the other charts, falling wedges will most likely break up to the upside, and you got to think of like the timing, like we're on the precipice of altcoin season starting, so, and we're in a falling wedge, so we're accumulating. So it tells me that, like, the time to buy would be when this thing starts to come down and hit the bottom of this channel again, and it may come down this channel and then break out. Like, so, I don't know. I'm, obviously not financial advice here. I'm just giving you what I see and what I would do. So take a look at the chart for yourself, and if you believe in the project, buy it.
I think that's great. I was
Absolutely.
just sending out a couple little tips in our audience. Thank you guys for those of you who tipped us as well. If someday ever I get in the right thing, I'll send tips. The money we have coming into that account, we'll just use it for tips. We're just trying to like have like a cool show on the arena, help bring some new eyes on it, help talk about some of these charts. Get guests from outside of the ecosystem, artists, OG 21 BAYC members. I think next week, fingers crossed, we have one of the lobbyists who works for AVAX as well as an attorney for Fenwick Law coming on. So we're going to talk some policy things, and take some different angles to the arena and text and talk about some different things. Just experimenting. We're experimenting.
Absolutely. No, this was a great show. Actually, it was nice to chat with CodeNekt. Nice to chat with Bryan. We got a jam-packed show. We got some cool charts in. The market's looking
Yeah,
really good. I'm starting to feel pretty optimistic, especially for altcoins right now. So,
we're gonna be so rich.
get
You're
into.
gonna be tired of winning, Mike.
We're gonna win so much. Well,
So
guys,
much.
thank you so
When we
much for
adopt
coming.
Canada,
What was that?
when we adopt Canada, you're just gonna win all the time.
Well, if there's no capital gains for crypto in the U.S., I might become an American. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But that would be great. I would actually love to have a beach home in Florida. That'd be great. Or even one
Yeah.
of those nice. There's some nice, really cheap places in Texas, but that's a story for another.
Augusta's lovely-ish.
Lovely-ish.
I'm
Wow,
leaving as
you're
soon as
you're really selling
graduate.
it. You're really selling it.
I'm out of here in a year, but like it's great. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good night. Thanks for coming to the show. This was super fun, and we will see you next week for some more nonsense. And thank you to all the people who tuned in tonight. We really appreciate you guys. Big
All right,
love,
guys.
and go Netsy.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you next week.